All right, now I want to add this point. I just got done with the whole video, and it came to me when I got done. I got done with the whole audio. So now we're doing the video right now. All right, so this is going to be the intro. But yeah, so anyway, you'll hear it as you go on, but this is all about surveillance, and you'll see it. Like you'll see it as you listen, and you'll see it. But it came later because I was talking about it. I forget what I was saying. I might have said somebody following you and stuff like that. But I did say something about them using technology or something like that. Um, and yeah, and it could be surveillance, just doing record checks. Doing record checks when you're using the internet. So you'll see it. It just came out that way. But it's definitely, if you go through this whole thing for the person who requested this, as far as we came across, there might be some type of following going on and things like that. So this is for that person as well. But I made sure anybody that offered this new moon will get this one first, and you'll get more in a couple of days, maybe less than a couple of days. So I'll explain it more, but this came at the end when I got done. So you're hearing it now, but it's not really the first. This is actually the last. This came at the end of the video, but it just came out. So yeah, there's definitely somebody possibly using technology to do, like, surveillance is surveillance. They may not call it surveillance, but if somebody is studying you if they're using the computer to study you, that's still surveillance. Surveillance is any form of watching you or information about you. That's all surveillance. So that's definitely going on one way or another. Some definitely somebody following you in that sense, or surveilling, or it might even be a literal person following, but it's definitely going on. All right, here's the video. Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. Now, this will be about the new moon, August 30th, 2019 at 6:38 a.m. Now, a lot's going on, and I think it's very important. First, I want to thank you. Thank you if you ordered the new moon readings. This will be like basically the master copy, but then I still will be sending you your natal charts that are relative to the order you made. But this is the master copy, just going out to everybody. Gonna do it a little bit differently this time because I got so much to tell you, and everything I'm gonna tell you is so important. These first whatever it takes, 5 or more minutes, but this is very, very, very important. So August 30th is Friday. Keep in mind that is Venus's day, new moon. Now listen to this. This is the International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances. So that's interesting. And then on the 31st, Muharram begins. So that's something I want to know what that means. I also want to know what it means to be an enforced disappearance. So that's something I'll probably look up at on my own. But what I'm trying to tell you is it's a lot of things going on. This is very, very important. And just so you know, like I said, everything really comes from astrology. To me, I've been doing this for a long time. To me, there's really no difference between astrology and spirit. And that's why when you study like Matthew chapter 22, in order to find the Messiah, they had to find a star. And then if you go to chapter Luke, if you notice, when the angels start praising the baby Jesus, they still talking about the stars and all that. So to me, they kind of work alike. So we never want to separate those. So basically, my sun sign is Leo, and Leos have been really going through it for the last 2 to 3 years. They've really been going through it, astrologically speaking. Maybe not every single Leo, but we have been going through it. So the funny thing was, when I tried to do this new moon reading the first time, I really couldn't, and I really got into it, but it just seemed you should be looking at the chart. Let me look at this chart as I'm speaking on this subject. There's a lot of possibilities. Because to tell you the truth, that even looks like a stellium. Because the stellium is when you have, like, I think 3 or 4 planets in one house. And see, all that's going on in Virgo. And even Mercury's there. So you got like about 5 powerful heavenly bodies in one sign. And that's what you call a stellium. And then you got the pyramids pointing to it. That pyramid in the middle of the chart. So this is nothing to play with. And what I normally do, I always go to the expert first. Like I'll go to Astrology King and I'll read that over. Then I'll start to come in. But I couldn't do it. And plus I was like it's just been a lot going on. You know, a lot going on. Because one of the clients, you know, we've had a long journey to this point. So I wanted to make sure I could do this chart at a better time. I actually stopped and deleted everything. Because it's a high probability, depending on what your sign, your zodiac sign is, and what's been going on in your life. Because you should always be keeping up with your readings. However you choose to do it, but keep up with your readings however you choose to do it. Because it's that important. So it was one of those things that it could. And then other stuff was happening. And that's what was really like, I really couldn't do it. That's the first time I ever just stopped the reading and said I can't do this. And then I directly connected to directly contacted the client, because then something else popped up from I'm out here in New Jersey, and then a news story like Channel 12 News 12 sent me an email, and it was all about stuff that's kind of related to my client's life. So definitely looked like it was universal warnings. But again, it's nothing to really fear. You know, because another psychic, I think, told her to just watch your back, just, you know, be alert. Because even Jamie from astrologyking.com said with Mars and Venus, it could actually be unbelievable sex, very passionate sex, but it could also be physical violence. So that's why you have to be on alert and be careful. So I wasn't able to do that reading. I deleted everything. A lot of stuff was going on with me, and at the same time, I really wanted to bring a closure. And this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say. I really wanted to bring a closure with some neighbors that had just been a-holes, like straight up a-holes, especially the last 7 years or so. And I really wanted to bring closure to it. And I think because I didn't give up and I stayed with it, I actually got some type of closure with them. I made them be more responsible for their debris and everything. Because for some reason in their head, they thought I was supposed to get it. And I don't live with you. I don't know why I'm supposed to get your debris and your garbage coming down on my property. And also, not only that, but for the last 7 to 10 years, they've been like doing racial stuff towards me. Like if I go outside, they keep tooting, you know, locking the car door. You hear the horn going off, and they're inside the house because they don't have no blinds in their back doors. So as soon as I come outside to go in my backyard or go to the garbage can, throw some in the garbage, they see me and immediately they grab the key. Even though I'm nowhere near their car, they keep doing it. And then what they started to do is this: they see me and all of a sudden they hit it, but they don't hit the lock. They go bump. They hit the emergency. So I gotta have bump, 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 bump. So there's definitely negative energy, and that's why I was determined to get them out of my life best I could. Because I feel like, okay, if you're accusing me of somebody you can't trust, even though you've known me all my life, then why am I picking up your debris and your garbage? Because you're making me out to be a bad person, although you don't have a shred of evidence to support that. But you're the guys, you're the ones leaking your garbage on our property and blocking our driveway with your stuff. So I think it's time to say no. And even though I wanted to say no, the township was siding up with them because they figure I'm a guy, so I should just get it. And then plus the woman used to work for the township for many years, so they're going to back her up. So it was a big fight that finally I won. You know, I finally found a way to get them to back up. And at the same time I won, I got all these blessings that same day. And then I got confirmations coming too. So it was a good thing. Now, two of the biggest confirmations was this. I saw a lot of, like right now, our store is very crowded because people getting ready to go back to school and they're coming and getting all these sales. And I saw a lot of different females that look like my twin flame. Now it was one female that came up, and she was unbelievably beautiful. She looked exactly like my twin flame looked in 2014, 2015. And she was so nice. She was so lovable, so nice and stuff. So I knew that was a twin flame message. And also at my job, my soulmate who I work with has returned there. And we returned on a new moon. That's when I first talked to her, was on a new moon this month. And I just saw her today. You know, she wasn't working today, but she came in. I saw her. So we just spoke real quick. So these are all confirmations of things. But what I'm trying to tell anybody listening, this is why this was so important. I had to stand up to those neighbors. Because the moment I stood up to the neighbors, it's like the universe just opened blessings behind blessings behind blessings. Because like I said, a lot of this stuff we don't really understand. But sometimes you weaken. That's why I say you got to be careful of the people who are around you. Because you don't understand, they're really messing you up. Because like right after I got those monkeys off my back, all of a sudden my life just started becoming beautifully blessed. Because that's their energy. And their energy is kind of like helping drain me as well. And there's some other supernatural stuff happen that I don't even know how to explain it to you. But I know for a fact, I'm not saying I'm more healed, but I honestly feel like I'm more healed. Like certain medication I usually take 2, 3 times, 4 times. I haven't taken it. And I worked all day and it was real busy. And I was in the busiest spot on the cash register, and I couldn't believe it. I made it through the whole day. So that happened right after standing up for myself and getting those monkeys off my back. So that's why I started this video, because that's the type of energy that is in the natal chart. And your new moon is about something ending so that you can begin something new. Now, whatever that may be, we'll see. So I don't wanna go to the experts in this particular reading this time because of what happened. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I couldn't do it because it really was impactful. I want to really do old school investigation, doing like I do, and I will be saying each sign that we're in, and we're going to do it that way because I want to make sure. Because Jamie said this. Jamie, Astrology King said this. Usually when you see Mars like this, he said it could be very physical, very violent. He said, but because Venus is right there and it probably means great sex and great fun. But you can't do that. You can't say, oh, this guy is a convicted criminal. And usually when you see a convicted criminal with a gun in his hand standing outside the store, he's probably about to rob it. But because he's smiling, maybe he won't do it. So that's what and I thought that was a bunch of crock. I really did. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. Let me just stop this, delete this video, let the client know what's going on, and come back. And that's what we're going to do now. And like I said, so you'll get this video first, and then you will be having your other videos. Like your video, one person has her videos. So usually it's her video, the 2 videos, this video you're looking at and her video. And we're going to do that a little later. And then the other one has other ones too. But I want this to be the master copy so you know what's coming with this new moon. That's most important to me. All right. All right. So now the east point is at 1 degree. And this is all in the first house. And that first house is being Virgo. Virgo is your 6th house. So this is about health. Just like Jamie, I call him Jamie King because he owns Astrology King website. So I just call him Jamie King. And I used to know a guy named Jamie King. So that's why I'm so used to calling Jamie King. So this is going to be about health, healing, service, the home, daily activities, including your job. It could be small children, small animals, co-workers, subordinates. So what that may mean is all this is new beginnings. That's why you even got the 1 degree. And see, even the 1 degree is Mercury. So remember, Mercury is Gemini. So that's the first thing I'm trying to tell you. This will affect Gemini some type of way. This will affect Gemini some type of way. And just to say, because I could never tell you how crazy they were, but those neighbors really went out of their way for a long time to try to make me, you know, feel a certain way. Stupid stuff. Like all kind of people were parking in front of their house at night. They didn't do anything. If they thought I was parking anywhere near their house, they turned the lights on. They were just doing crazy stuff, and they have no reason. And that's what was bugging me out. What was the reason to do all that? And that's why I was determined to get those people out of my life, because they were nut jobs. And I don't know, but I definitely believe in good spirits, evil spirits, and stuff like that. But it just seemed like, and I know for a fact, because even a relative that lives here asked me about them, because they did have some strange stuff going on with their house. They actually had to hire somebody to go in their house and kind of like expel it or whatever. So it was just something weird going on with both of them, the mother and the daughter. It was just something very weird going on. And I knew the faster I got away from them, the better off I'd be. And so far, that seems to be the truth. So now you got Mercury, and the Magician card is number 1 degree is Magician card. So this is communication, but also be careful what you're hearing. I just try to tell people, it's not that I want to see people be unhappy, but you do have to be wise. If your intuition is telling you something, how you handle it, just try to handle it, with a little bit of wisdom. But you just got to be careful what you're saying. And what I was trying to tell you is, remember, both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So this is definitely about Mercury. It's definitely about Gemini energy and stuff like that. So it could be good communications, things like that. And there may be some people who are talking about, if you're not already living together, moving in or whatever it might be, something new. Some people might read. Because I was just watching Yahoo News, and a woman said, "Oh, he already proposed to me, but he just proposed to me again. It was so nice." So it'll be that type of stuff as well. And communication is the 1 degree, like I said, is a Magician card. So somebody might be telling you something that's not fully true, or they're making you believe something that's not fully true. But sometimes it might be just somebody like pulls a rabbit out their hat. They might say, "Hey, let's go to Bahamas." You're like, "What?" "Yeah, let's go. I just found this special offer. We can afford it. Let's go." Just anything coming out the hat. So this is the type of energy that's in the universe right now. And then when you see 13, that's Scorpio energy with Mercury. And again, that is the death. The death. But again, that's like something dying, something rebirthing. Because that's what a new moon does. The new moon is like something closing and something opening. And just like even today, I saw somebody I haven't seen in a long time. They used to work at my job, and they saw him today. And it was nice that they wanted to hold a conversation, but we were so busy, so I got to talk to them a little bit. But they said they were moving to South Carolina, and I told them they would probably like it better, and she said no. She said she hates it. So now you got Juno, Mercury. So this is going to be like a serious conversation. Mercury is a serious conversation with Juno. Juno and Mercury are like having a serious talk, and it's going to be home related. So either that person is talking about you and them in some type of home together, or you or them are talking about home related stuff, whether it's children, family, repair. And remember, Virgo can also be property as well. Property as well. So it could even be some real estate, or like I said, somebody just getting away from some type of getaway into a hotel or something like that. All this is going on in the first house. Now the first house is ruled by Aries, so that's why I said Aries, but Mars rules Aries. So whatever's going on with this, it's going to be aggressive. It's going to be very focused and very aggressive. Now you know it's a new moon. That's why the sun is right next to the moon at 6 degrees. But now here's the deal. 6 degrees can be the Lover's card. But remember, the Lover's card is really about doubt. The Lovers card is only about love depending on what you pull. Like if you pull the Sun card and the Lovers card and maybe another card, depending on what you pull, like the Justice card, because that's Libra energy. That might be about love or togetherness. But sometimes the Lovers card is about doubt. So you have to be careful. And then, like I said, be careful of Virgo. Because I remember saying that when I did this chart the first time, the one I deleted. I was saying, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. See, because watch how you say it. Because Virgo can be somewhat critical. And with this energy you're looking at in the first house, you got to just watch how you say it. It's okay to say it, but you have to watch how you say it because it may come off a certain type of way, especially with all this Aries and Mars energy. So whatever you say, you want to watch how you say it. Sometimes it's difficult to get your point across, but you just got to be careful. Even if you do have to become a little bit more aggressive, so the person knows this is serious, but you just don't want to, not now. You don't want to, demean anybody or make a person, to catch offense. So when you're doing Sun conjunct the Moon, it's going to be internally and externally. And in this house, you got a lot of masculine, feminine. So that's why I said this is more, like twin flame stuff or soulmate stuff in the first house. So it's going to be about healing home, but it still could be about small children. Somebody might find out they're pregnant or whatever. They may already be pregnant. So all this will be going on. And again, it could be something with the doctors because you're dealing with your health. So right now, I just want to look up Sun conjunct Moon. Alright, give me a second. I thought I sent this. Then I looked up, it's still here. Give me a second again. That's like that's the Saturn retrograde. When you thought you took care of something and you look over it and it's still there or whatever. It's like a Saturn. I don't know if it is a Saturn retrograde, but that's how that works sometimes. Alright, so now we're going to do this again. We want to know Moon conjunct Sun. Okay, so this is Jamie from Astrology King. We'll look at that. So he says being born on a new moon or solar eclipse will make you very focused and driven to complete your goals and meet your high expectations. But that's going to be this case. That's the case now. Because this is in the first house and you got Mars and the first house is ruled by Aries. So definitely going to be very driven. You're definitely going to want to complete goals. Definitely going to be communication going on. And with Virgo there, it will be very high expectations. And Virgo is a master at finding, you know, the stuff that anybody else would miss, finding the faults. You could type a resume, and if you give it to a Virgo, they probably can find any typos or anything wrong, any misspelled words and stuff like that. So because the subconscious, the moon, is blending with the conscious, the sun, you can become very charismatic and popular with a powerful presence and forceful character. So now you'll be able to start major projects and see them through to completion. And you're not afraid to stand out and take the lead, especially depending on who you are. And this will be a desire to get things started. That's why I said home projects or things like that, something with the kids, maybe even the animals and things like that. And again, they say how you're, sometimes people are not aware of how their powerful energy impacts the lives of other people. Instead, you leave a strong impression on other people. And that's what I try to say. You just have to be careful because you don't know what's going on with other people. And once people really begin to infringe and infringe and infringe, you have to stand up for yourself. And that's what I had to do. And even if other people were telling me, oh, well, it's a neighborly thing, and no, you don't know these neighbors, and not that you have to say that necessarily, but what you got to do is right. Like I said, you have to come to a conclusion, which I did, and it wasn't an easy conclusion, but it was just time to say, you take care of your home, you take care of your property, and let us take care of our home and take care of our property, and hopefully you'll stop harassing me for whatever the reason is. And that's what I said. That's the new moon is all about home and property and real estate or whatever. New moon in Virgo is definitely about that. So some people say when you have a sun conjunct moon, this is somebody who was born during a waning new moon. So this person might be self-aware, more contemplated, and they say, this type of person may be coming to the end of a large cycle of many incarnations. You become an older soul with an understanding of your place in the larger scheme of things. You may prefer fewer new beginnings, but they will be of greater significance. Now remember, this could be going on in your personal life, family life, or even relationship life. And all that's in the first house. You got Virgo, that's home, or your family life, home life. And then all that other stuff is like personal, like Juno, the moon, the sun. Now he's saying that the sun is a little separated from the new moon. Well, these are together. So we're not going to read that because these are they're both at 6 degrees. So they're together. So like I said, for some it will be love, might be passion. Some it will be some type of doubt. And sometime when you do see Venus and Mars, it could be like extremely sexual, extremely passionate. And sometimes it's people who like argue, but then they start making great love or whatever. So it could be a lot of things. It could be a lot of things. Now this is the Sun conjunct Moon transit. Sun conjunct moon transit puts focus on the most personal areas of life. See that, here you go. You will pay more attention to your home, feelings, emotions, and close relationships. And that's what happened. Like I said, that's exactly what I went through. Because like I said, even some tears were shed. Because I don't even know why these people clicked out and went so nutty. You know, because I've never done anything to them. And that's what hurts so much. Like, why are you being so mean to me? I've never done anything to you people at all. You know. So you can get emotional and stuff like that. But like I said, that's why I knew I had to cut any type of emotional cord from them. Because they had something going on, you know. So you would say you'll pay more attention to your home, feelings, emotions, and close relationships. It said especially with women. And they say when it's sun conjunct moon. And that's true as well. The power of the sun brings these deeper areas of life to the surface, that any problem that has simmered in these areas can be resolved in a positive way. And see, that's how Jamie talks. It not necessarily. It may not be in a positive way. But the universe will bring these things out. Each person is different. Some may resolve it in a positive way, and some may just be arguing. Or like I said, it may not be resolution at all. You might actually pull further away from the people. Because sometimes people, it depends on who you're dealing with. Cause like I said, like the funny thing is, you know, he said that you don't realize how powerful you are to people. And I don't know if this is the case or not, but what I think it kind of is, I think in some ways, to that old lady, she probably sees me somewhat as a son, like one of her kids, because we've known each other forever. So she knew when I was born. Then I was going to the same the religion they were going to. So I think they kind of see me that way, and I don't know how. And I think it's just some strange stuff. Like they just gotta just try to stay connected any way they do. It's kind of like when you're a guy and you go to school and you're a kid, and a female's always hitting you, like punching you, and you don't know why she's hitting you. But sometimes she likes you, but that's how she's expressing herself. But you just don't understand it. But at the same time, as you get older and you start to have medical problems and stuff, you just don't need the drama. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if you feel a certain way, speak up. But we're not going to continue with the foolishness because I'm getting too old for this. I'm getting too tired, and I just can't deal with it. And like I said, I had way more energy today than I've had in a long time. And it was directly after I hate to say the word, but I actually had to put them in their place. And you kind of see it. It's kind of like funny, you know, because they were really out of control. Now they know they better get those cans off the curb once they're dumped. Those cans better not come down. If they do come down, I'm not picking them up and bringing them back like I used to. Like it kind of like shook them up, you know. It kind of shook them up. So now the sun conjunct moon transit, it can bring emotional balance. So you also want to keep an eye on Libra, because remember, both Virgo and Libra are a lot alike. So they said this is going to be emotional balance, not irrationally emotional. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because you got too much Aries up in there. You got too much Mars up in there. So it may still be irrational. So they said this is a perfect time for a level-headed approach to the personal issues mentioned and psychological self-analysis, which regards habits and conditioning. All right. So I'll say it again. So at 6 degrees, it could be lovers, definitely. Or it could be a lot of doubt, maybe critically looking at your relationships and things of that nature. And each person will make that decision. Now, the number 7 is the Chariot, and that's the Cancer card. It could be the motherly, it could be the family, it could be the home. Like I said, once again, that sounds like me with the neighbors. But now it's the drama, and I feel like the moon's helping bring it out a little bit. I think like the sun is making the masculine more determined to not back down. The moon is being more emotional. Like, why is this going on? What can I do to piss him off? Or whatever. That's the moon. Because that's how some people think they're communicating, but you're not really communicating when you're pissing somebody off. Because all they're gonna do is start pushing you further and further away. And I think a lot of times people say, well, he should speak up for himself. But like I said, how can I speak up for myself if you don't, I come knock on the door, you don't open the door and stuff like that. So that's why I said it had to end. It just had to come to the silliness had to stop. So now what I want to do is do Mars conjunct the moon. Okay, once again, Astrology King. Said emotionally passionate nature. So once again, like I said, it may be a very sexual passionate, but it could also, like I said, go the other way. So this person with a moon conjunct this person with the moon conjunct sun, they're kind of like, have a passion for life. They wear their heart on the sleeve, and then they become attractive to other people because they like to share what they feel. And if they have strong emotions, they really want to talk about it, get it out. So that might be moving other people to talk about it. So they say a moon conjunct Mars can be a hot temper though. Rashness. Remember, because you got Aries. This is the first house. You got Aries in the moon. So that's why I said watch what you say. Because again, this is not really the time. Not really the time. And I'm just going to say this real quick because I know you probably heard me say this before. But here's a woman who met a man. And so far he's been great. He's the real man and everything. So they go out. And they go out to this particular event. They had to wear, tuxedos, gowns, and things like that. And they look good. He does everything right. Holds the door for her. Holds her hand. Introduces her to everybody. He could dance. I mean, the people she met were nice. It was a fabulous place. The food was excellent. All the waiters were professional. And she just felt like she was floating on cloud nine with this guy. Like she had never felt that before in her life. And she definitely doesn't ever want it to end. And they're all beautiful and everything. And then they get home and everything. And now they're trying to, wind down. They're beginning to wind down, get undressed, wind down, and all that. So as he's beginning to take his tie off or his whatever bow tie, whatever he's taking off for his tux, he's beginning to unbuckle his collar, his shirt. So she wants to give him, just one more kiss to tell him thank you. She had a wonderful time because she's still floating on cloud nine. And so she reaches over to kiss him, but as she reaches over to kiss him, some of her lipstick hits his sleeve, like his collar, like his right collar or something. And at that moment, she feels the energy shift. Like she can feel the energy, and she takes a look at him, and she can tell he's very, very irritated with what just happened. And before she can really think about it, because it happened so fast, he done smacked the shit out of her. Now, even if that never ever happened again, she's never going to forget that. And plus, she's going to go through everything. She's going to blame herself. She's not going to understand what happened. Why did it happen? She's going to be terrified because she doesn't know if he's like that. Just blow up for no reason, like something very little, and hit her again or whatever. So now the way she sees him is never going to be the way she saw him before that hit. So that's what you're looking at, kind of what they're saying. This could blow up out of anywhere. That's why I keep telling you, be careful. Be careful, especially if you've had other readings where somebody was saying, be careful, be careful. You better watch out. You better watch out. Be careful. So Moon conjunct Mars is a sexy lover. So they're also a fierce fighter. So they need a constructive outlet for their passions. Otherwise, the hot Mars energy would turn in and become destructive. Yeah, because you're dealing with the moon, so the moon will take you internal. Yeah, so maybe I will tell you guys what happened. Because now that I'm reading this, because I don't know what it was, but I always felt like, because I never knew why they had so much, and I know it's not hatred, but why do they go out of their way to make my life so miserable, my neighbors? And I always thought it was some type of soulmate connection. So I will tell you this, because I don't know how to explain this to y'all. So, you know, I was contacting people. I was just going, because when I get really upset like that, I'll just start contacting a lot of people, because I refuse to lose. Not like that. Something else I can walk away from. I wanted this ended. This is going on for too long, and I wanted them to back up, get out my life, and I was going to end it as far as finding some way to tell them to back up. So I had to get out of this township, because the township was protecting the person, because she used to work for the township. So I had to find a way to find some people outside of the township that would tell the township, well, wait a minute. So I did it, and but I know I was just real upset. But y'all gotta understand, like I said, I've been real sick. I'm on meds, and sometimes meds and stuff like that can really mess with you. And plus, see, out here recently we had a power outage, which meant my meds that have to stay cool, stay in the refrigerator. There was no refrigeration, even though I eventually got some ice or whatever. And then even right before that, the hot water heater went. So first it was like the hot water heater went. And then 2 days later, all the electricity went out. So I've just been getting killed. So now I finally get around to using that medication. But now you just got to be very careful because of that. When a refrigerator, no power, it could have really altered it. So anyway, I don't know what it was. But again, like I said, you got to understand, whatever's going on, God is behind it, depending on who you are. So whatever was going on, I know it was just an emotional time for me yesterday, you know, because like those people are like family to me, and just everything. So I don't know what happened, but while I was sitting here, I don't know what the heck happened. I really don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. All of a sudden, well, I know, like I said, like I know for a fact, like my sister used to sleepwalk. My older sister, she's no longer alive. And see, whenever they see Virgo, she's a Virgo. See, she's always here with the Virgo, just like Vesta. She's connected to Vesta because Vesta connects to Virgo. And whenever there's something going on with the home, she will show up. And heaven forsake anything's going on with my mother, because her and my mother were more like best friends than mother and daughter. So she will show up, and I've seen it happen. I know it for a fact. So whatever the heck happened yesterday, I literally was sitting here, but like I don't know what it was, but I actually went into like a different world, and this is the truth. And I was in there for a while, walking around. I don't know. I think I was walking around the house, but everything I seen, like I couldn't logically, perceive none of it. I couldn't logically, and I was just I think I was just walking around. And so then after a while, I started to get frustrated because I felt like I was trapped into something and couldn't get out. And then I really started flipping out. And I think my not like flipping out like going crazy, but flipping out like I want to get out of it. What is this? What am I in? And I was trying my best to get out of it. And I think my guardian angel was probably making sure I didn't hurt myself. So finally, I knew things started to look familiar, but it looked animated. It was just crazy. And so then I was in the kitchen, and things began to look more like realistic. And at that point, I was just standing there. Now I was back to reality, and I was just standing there in my kitchen. But that was some great. I never had nothing happen like that. But I know my sister used to, sleepwalk all the time. So whatever that was, like I said, I don't know, but I know it probably has to do with energy and past lives and all kind of crazy stuff. But it definitely was the direct result of my neighbors and stuff like that, what I was going through with them. But at the same time, that was when all kind of great things started happening. After I had that experience, all kind of great things started happening. So with this moon conjunct Mars, you'll have those type of things with the moon and the emotions and the intensity. So moon conjunct Mars makes you feel strong, sexy, and brave. You can take the initiative and act with passion. So you will have quick instincts and fighting spirit. And it can be used to defend your home and family. And again, that's exactly what I did. Now, the reason why I did what I did, because I know how the world works. Like, I know my mother. I know how the world works. Because I remember, it was a while ago. But I remember my mother was scared to drive down her own driveway. Because those people's stuff was all in our driveway. And she was actually scared to drive down her own driveway. Because she's older now. And my mother has definitely going into like diabetic comas and stuff. And like the, whatever you call them, EMSs, the EMTs, whatever you call them, they had to come here and help her, you know, revive her. So I know how it works. I might not be here or whatever's going on. Plus, both of us are sick. So you don't want no trick. You don't want no type of foolishness with your driveway. And that's what they were trying to tell me. Oh, you know, well, because one like a representative for the township came over here yesterday. So he was trying to say, well, you know, the EMT's coming to your front door. But my point being made is, anybody knows whenever you were in school or whatever, they always told you to keep the exits clear, keep the doorways clear. Like, all that's just normal. It was just making me laugh at everything. Everything that's normal for everybody else, all of a sudden, when it comes to me, just put up with it. Just deal with it. So it wasn't going to make no difference. They were going to keep making excuses, and I knew that. That's why I had to do what I had to do. At the end of the day, it's our property, our home. Your stuff does not need to be on our property at any time. Our stuff is never in your property. She has a big old no trespassing sign on her stuff. So it's the hypocrisy of that woman is hilariously funny. You know, she has a big gate, a big no trespassing sign. I can't park nowhere near her house. She's throwing a fit. But yet she can have her stuff all in my yard and stuff like that. So it was just foolish. So with a moon conjunct Mars, you have to be careful because these are strong emotions that you may not be able to control. It says strong emotions hard to control. You can feel irritable, impatient, bossy, or mean. So with a moon conjunct Mars, you may need to back off and relax. And I already said that, like, you just got to be careful. Because you see, it's a lot of Mercury here. It's a lot of Gemini here. It's a lot of Virgo here. You have to be very, very careful. He said if you remain in an agitated state, you are likely to lose your temper or act irrationally. So they're telling you get out with somebody you really care about, your kids or something, so that you can get out and burn some of that energy off. They said you may have to, you know, clean your house, whatever, and anything healthy. You could do something healthy. Now, another reason when you're dealing with a stellium like that, you got to be careful because you're going to get hit with so many different emotions. So many different emotions. And that's why I say you got to really watch that mouth, watch anything that could agitate. And like I said, it's all about home and family because that 7 degrees is the Chariot card. That's something coming at you real fast, but that's Cancer energy. And it's right next to the moon, so this could be mother stuff too. So you just got to be careful even with the mother, how we respond, and things like that. Now look at the AC and the part of fortune or good fortune. That's interesting because it's 9 degrees. 9 degrees is the Hermit card, and that is Virgo energy again. And a hermit is a person that goes by their own light. And then having here is Venus at 11 degrees, and that could either be the Strength card or the Justice card. But 11 degrees can also go to 2, which is the High Priestess or the couple. So it's a lot of godly, feminine energy in the first house. And you just have to make sure that we don't do anything to tilt it. And you have that triangle, and it's going to all the earth signs: Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So this is definitely going to affect the career, because Capricorn's right there, and that's Leo again. And now, once again, you know you're dealing with a lot of karma because of Saturn retrograde and Pluto retrograde. And Pluto retrograde usually means something's going to be taken away to make way for something else. So like I said, so Leo is still going to be going through his karmic stuff. And what did I tell y'all? Now, here's Virgo, and I'm telling you that had to do with me and my neighbors. And then there's karmic Capricorn, but it's in the 5th house. So Leo's still going through some karma for some reason. And then I told you right after that happened, it was almost like a blessing came out of nowhere. And there goes Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so she's a Taurus. One of these people is a Taurus too. So make sure you're hearing me say all these signs. So make sure you're listening, because these are your signs. You're still going to get the whole thing written out or whatever, however I normally do it. But I wanted to get this out first. So out of nowhere, this is going to be coming for Taurus as well. Now, Libra is in the 2nd house, and there's nothing there. But remember that Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So whatever we said about Venus or Taurus, that might affect the 2nd house. And it definitely will, because Taurus is right there with Uranus, and Taurus rules the 2nd house. All right. Now, the 3rd house, got to be very careful. It's 1 degree, so there goes the Mercury energy again. Like I said, so be careful of gossip. Be careful of lying, because 1 degree is a magician. But this can also be psychic stuff, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's almost like alchemy. Because like I said, whatever happened to me, I think it was yesterday, I don't think I've ever had an experience like that. But I know I was highly upset. That's all I can remember. And I was just sitting here, and then it was like, next thing I know, it was just going through that. It's almost like you were walking around in this world of kind of like animation. And I guess anything you were looking at was just looking weird and stuff like that. And for a while, I was cool with it. But after a while, I began to say, wait a minute, I'm trapped in here. And I was like, I started to get out of here. And I think that's when my guardian angel made sure I came out of it. So the reason why I'm telling you that, because that's that Scorpio stuff in the 3rd house. That's a lot of emotions. 3rd house is Gemini. But I'm going to tell you, the 3rd house is still emotional. It's still emotional, because the 3rd house can be like children or child ways, like small children, childish ways. It could be, duking it out with your siblings, because Scorpios, that's your siblings. It could be duking it out with your soulmate, because Pallas is there. It could be broadcasting. It could deal with gossip. Because like I said, whenever you're arguing with anybody, stuff starts to come out. Because like I said, that's why I said when I told them, your stuff is always coming down on our property, instead of them going, we're sorry about that, we'll try to be better, they actually sent their landscapers out immediately after the township picked everything up. But the township, it's normal. They left some stuff because it's what they're not going to sit out there and pick up everything. And when you get home from work or whatever, you just pick up. But they ran out there. They sent somebody out there immediately, picked that stuff up, and then threw it in front of our driveway. After I just got finished telling them, stop blocking our driveway. So these people are crazy. They're nutso. But that's the type of stuff you see in 3rd house, is power struggles and all kind of immature activity and stuff like that. So now the fourth house is family. So again, that could be anything. Long distance travel, because in-laws, keep an eye out for in-laws around this time. And remember, even if you're just dating a guy, that's still like your in-laws. Astrologically speaking, his people are like your in-laws, especially if you know them. Because you might say, well, listen, I got one guy I'm thinking about, another guy I kind of go out with, but I don't really consider any of those people in-laws. But yeah, pretty much they are, astrologically speaking, and especially if you know them. But even if you don't, astrologically speaking, it's still considered in-laws. And that is the money house, the fourth house, under this new moon, because you see Jupiter and Sagittarius. And remember, Sagittarius can be long distance. It could be the ninth house of class, culture, higher self, higher laws. And I noticed when you go back to Virgo, you see that number 25, because I noticed that before. That can be law as well. Because when you get over here, you see Jupiter and Sagittarius, but it could be higher laws, and it's going to have some type of money. It's like even like somebody in your family might get a tax return back and get money and things like that. But it's also belief systems as well, and it's also about expansion as well because of Jupiter. But this can be finances and expansion. It could almost be like a family or your mother giving you some money, or you giving her some money, or something like that. But it could also be, because remember, this is the education house. So this could be education, could be somebody studying at home, or anything. Could be have something about homeland, and it'll have to do with finances. It's almost like somebody investing a lot of money in homeland security. And 15 can mean some type of bondage. Some type of bondage. Could also be the devil card, and that it could actually be career or Capricorn as well. All right, so like I said, it's the fifth house for Leo, but once again, it kind of once again taking Leo through a whole lot of karma, and it's still taking Leo back into the past. Now you say, well, does that mean Leo might be seeing his soulmate or his twin flame? It could mean that, but not necessarily. But whatever it is, for most Leos, it's something karmic, and because Capricorn's there, it could be karmic or career. So like I said, like even today I worked, because I really work. I'm inside the building, outside of it, I'm going all around. And see, my boss wasn't there. Like at my job, me and my boss are the main ones that clean up. And my boss, he'll go get carts and stuff, which he doesn't have to. If he wanted to, he don't have to go get no cart. He could send you're the employee, but he will go get the carts. But I'm always getting the carts anyway. And we're the two main people there that really clean up. Because when I came in that place, it was crowded. I mean, I never saw that place that crowded. The parking lot was crowded, inside was crowded, but I still was determined to try to run through that building because they're gonna put me in cash register. So I try to run through that building fast to see what's going on, because I hate when a place looks crappy. I take it personal. So he wasn't there yet, because once he got there, he started cleaning up too. Because I went in that bathroom, it's like, oh no. So it's that type of work for Leo right now. Right now, Leo is going to have a lot of work or whatever, a lot of karma. Now, just because you have a lot of work one way or another, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a lot of money. But this is almost like karmic, just like when you come home and you're just burnt out. Like as soon as you get home, you just fall out. That's to me, that's kind of like a karmic day. It's still karmic. So 14, let's do that real quick for Saturn retrograde. So tarot card 14 is the Temperance card. That's again Sagittarius energy. So as you can see, this is really Sagittarius. And remember, Sagittarius is your higher self. And what happens too, I just noticed I'm also changing about different things. You know, I'm starting to realize I think sometimes when you just feel boxed in, you know, so you start to get mad. I know I do. I can't speak for everybody. But you start to get mad and you start saying a whole lot of stuff. But once you feel like you're not boxed in, you kind of like realize it's not that big, it's not that serious, and whatever. So I think that Leo's going through that transformation because 14 is transformation. It is the and this whole new moon is about transformation. That's why they're showing you the internal, the external, the masculine, and the feminine. And this is when you are in a relationship with a twin flame and you two are really there for each other. You'll both see that transformation. But a lot of times twin flames are arguing, they're in separation, and you're still going through transformation with your twin, but it's just that you two are not united. And that's why I said the universe, that's how it happens, the higher self. And remember, Sagittarius is kind of like the higher self too. The house 9 is like the higher self. And that's why the universe will send somebody to you that kind of looks like your twin or reminds you of your twin or something. Her name will come up or his name will come up or something. So 14 is internal transformation through the Temperance card, the balancing of the masculine and the emotions, the logic and the feelings, and then 12 can take you back to the 12th house. See, so they're still going internal. See how Leo is in the 12th house? Because that 12th is the 12th house, but that's the house where you're supposed to go in. Like I'm telling you what happened to me. You're supposed to go into the subconscious and stuff like that. And that's what basically happened to me. I really went in to the point I was highly upset over everything. But it has to happen. That's why I say, you know, when you really understand this stuff, it has to happen. Like I've seen men that say they become spiritual. See, something happens to them. They go to a church or something, and all of a sudden they want to take the altar call and go down there, and then all of a sudden somebody prays over them, and they feel like they're getting the Holy Spirit, and then they start crying and stuff. And you're like, wow, why is this guy crying in public? Or that, it looks really weird. But that's that internal transformation is happening. It's an internal transformation, and you shouldn't fight it. That's how I look at it. And but I'm a little bit different. I've been around for a while, and I really don't care what people think too much, because whatever I did had to be done, because they had to back up, because it was getting to be way too much. And I don't care about people trying to tell me, because they weren't there and they don't know the whole story. And also, people always tell you, oh, you can do it, push yourself and all that. But sometimes when they're in the same situation, they tap out just like anybody else. So sometimes you got to, know your limitations and stuff like that. And if we're dealing with grown adults, you're not responsible for grown adults, because these people are going all over the world. They're doing anything else they want to do, but then they want to come here and say, oh, you do it. So you can't do that. So this is the internal transformation. And again, this is Pluto with 20 degrees. So it's also some type of judgment. But judgment can be some type of confirmation, some type of ending. And again, Capricorn in the 5th house is kind of like being serious. It could still be about fun, but it's kind of like being serious. And I kind of see it as a karmic situation. And remember, Saturn rules Capricorn. So to me, it's not going to be a whole lot of fun in the 5th house. And it could be like the career. Like I said, like even today, I literally worked. Like the whole time I was there, I literally worked. I have very few minutes to myself. So that it's that type of day. All right, so we want to look at Saturn retrograde. And remember, wherever you see Saturn in your chart, that's where your karma is. All right. So we're going to Saturn retrograde. Yeah, so I was right. Because remember I said I thought I had sent something and I looked down and it was still there? And you guys heard me say, I wonder if this is Saturn retrograde. And it is. Well, yeah, it is. So this is a social planet. I think Saturn is a social planet, and so is Jupiter. So now when you see Saturn's retrograde, it's going to slow everything down, and then it becomes a tough taskmaster. Even like I said, I was working, I was killing myself, and then when it finally came time for me to take my break, I asked when I take my break, and the one guy said no. But you see, I've been there for a while now, so I know these guys. So he's like no. So at first I was gonna go ahead and I wasn't gonna argue. I was gonna try to make it. But you gotta have to understand, like I said, I need medication and stuff. So after 4 hours or something like that, I gotta go get medication and stuff. So I tried to be cool with it, and then I was looking around. And I knew I had to go because it was about to get busy again. And then once it gets busy again, you still ain't gonna be out of there. So I was like, yo, for medical reasons, could I go? And so he was like, well, just wait. He said a couple more minutes, and then my boss stepped in and said, no, he could go now. Because they know I got medical stuff. So when you're dealing with taskmasters, Saturn retrograde, you're going to work harder, and also it takes longer to get things through. So you can't rush, and you got to learn how to slow down and do things right the first time. You also may have issues with authority. Like I said, that's what I said. I actually was using the word authority because I talk to a lot of people. Because I wrote when I get like that, I'm not going to let somebody just get away with it. So I wrote a whole lot of people. And like I said, don't get me wrong. People will talk trash about you, but here's the deal. If you see your life getting better, you know you made the right choice. And like I said, for the moment that situation was solidified, everything just got better. So if you're working on legal matters, such as contracts or deals, they may be delayed. Deadlines may be extended, and you might find yourself working on something you thought you already completed, and that just happened. So if Saturn is retrograde, it means past life conflict with authority. You may feel persecuted by your boss or upper management, or you may be abusive. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you have any past life or whatever, even in this life, any abuse, that may be coming up around this time. Also, Saturn retrograde is a person who has trouble setting limits or determining the limits around you. That's what I'm talking about. How I had to tell my neighbors to fall back because they were way out of control. So you have to make limits. And these type of people, sometimes they have trouble voicing their opinions, and that way they get victimized. And that's why I said, that's why when I said, can I go, he said no. And first I was going to really try to wait it out. Then I said, no, man, this place is packed. So I had to speak up again. And then the second time my boss said, let's go. But see, I'm not like, I will punch out because I got medical stuff. They can't hold me. I gotta go. So Saturn retrograde means you have to learn patience. So they say Saturn retrograde means you may have had a past life of abusive situations. Either you were the victim or the abuser. You may have been a prisoner, enslaved. You may have been an abusive ruler. And you may be immensely impatient. So this type of person tries to look for an easy way out. And they try to make others do what they should be doing, like my neighbors. So to overcome these lessons, you got to learn how to cultivate patience and also accountabilities for yourself or other people. If you feel somebody's abusing you, you have to hold them accountable. And that's why I say even issues around this time, even issues of past life abuse, whether in this life or a previous life, they may come up as well. So they said you have to learn how to constructively voice your concerns or opinions. But like I was saying, sometimes like they wouldn't listen. So unfortunately, because they wouldn't listen, that made it worse as well. And I was really getting pissed off because they just thought I was just going to go away. They thought, oh, just ignore him, he'll go away. I was like, oh, wow. Has it been that long? Like, you guys don't remember? So once you take control in your life, you can end the cycle of victimization. But how I look at it, well, with my neighbors, that's what I had to take control of the situation, and I ended the victimization. But at work, it's just telling you at your job, it's going to be busy. It's going to be packed. Get ready. You know, you're going to have to, if you go in there, be ready to go. And like, I'm going to be honest, if you wake up and you don't think you can handle it, don't go. Because even when I went in there this morning, I couldn't see. I honestly couldn't see. But thank God I just stuck it out and went. Because I've been just doing a lot of different stuff. Like I've been taking way less medicine than the medication than I used to, and stuff like that. So you just got to do what's best for you. So they're saying set strategy and work hard on your task. And that's what Terry Nassan, one of the greatest astrologers, will tell you. She said, Leo, make sure you're doing your job. Don't take no shortcuts. Watch what you say. Watch what you share. Whenever you're dealing with Mercury or anything like that, you do have to watch what you're saying and watch what you do. And remember, that third house is all about a gossip and, power struggles. So now you got Pluto retrograde there as well. See, it says Pluto retrograde is fresh starts and dead ends. Now, how does that pertain to your work? The reason why I keep talking about work in the 5th house, because you got Capricorn there. So it's not going to be a whole lot of play. I'm not saying it won't be play, because I'm sure some Leos will get out and have a good time. But in the 5th house, which is supposed to be about play and dating and fun, right now it's going to be somewhat karmic and serious. So even if you're going out on a date now, and that person you're going out on a date, you may actually have a karmic relationship with that person. So again, this is under new moon, fresh starts, and dead ends. So what happens with a Pluto full moon, something you hang on to or something you're kind of used to, all of a sudden is suddenly taken away, and that forces you to reevaluate what you value most. Now, is that a job? It could be. It really could be. It just depends on, you, the people you work for, your oversight. But it could be something that's taken away, but sometimes it's just something, something that's like boom, because Pluto is boom. And also be careful driving. Like I said today, I came out of work, and a guy that used to work there, he works up the thing. I saw him, so I shook his hand. Say, hey, how you doing? Shook his hand. And then I got in my car, had to get out the parking lot, which was kind of difficult because it was kind of a lot of traffic. And then I got on the highway, and I think I'm going to be home. I live right up the street from where I work. So I'm thinking I'm almost home. But all of a sudden, on the highway is a accident. So right away, that's what I'm talking about. That's that boom that comes out of nowhere. So it could be something like that too. And they say Pluto retrograde can be destruction and rebuilding, or rejuvenization, or regeneration. They say this is also a time where outside forces could affect, such as government upheaval. And if you've been listening to like YouTube, a lot of these channels are definitely showing you all the stuff going on in Israel. But it's not just Israel, it's other locations too. It's almost like the planet is almost getting ready for a major, like they say, upheaval. Weapons in war is what this is saying. Change can be difficult, and sometimes being forced into change is the only way to push some people forward in life. So if you have Pluto retrograde in your chart, and remember, Pluto rules Scorpio. So now your third house and your fifth house are the most creative houses on the chart. And also Scorpio, who rules the eighth house, is very creative. So it might be a lot of creative stuff going on for any of those signs. Gemini, Leo, Scorpio, Capricorn. So they're saying if you have a Pluto retrograde, you may have issues of control. And again, that just depends on who you are. Say these type of people feel like they have to control everything around them. So they say if you're holding on to something so tight that it can become suffocating to other people or yourself, or you might be holding on to something from the past that you may need to let go, Pluto retrograde might rip it out of you. Now, anybody with Pluto retrograde on a chart, from a past life perspective, they were probably ostracized from their family community or exiled from their home country. They may have been the scapegoat for the community, and they stood alone for bad deeds that perhaps they didn't even commit. So these past incarnations have left you feeling mistrustful of others, especially those around you. So now you got to learn trust of yourself and others. So yeah, in the fifth house of dating and stuff like that, it's almost like they're kind of telling you maybe you need to go on a date and learn to be patient, slow it down, and trust. And that could be hard for anybody, not just Leos or any. It could be hard for anybody. So that's pretty much the fifth house. Okay. Now, sixth house. Remember, the sixth house is ruled by Virgo. So now you got Aquarius in the sixth house. And 19. Now 19 is the sun. Because even over there you got the sun in Virgo. So you're going to have a lot of sun energy in Virgo as well as in the sixth house. And again, that 9 degrees is Virgo energy, the Hermit card, which is internal enlightenment. Person's going to go by their own, what they learned, and not what everybody else says. And again, with Aquarius, this is all about relating to friends, association, groups, the community. But the karmic, that a cross can mean destiny or fate. Now, it could be a soulmate situation or some type of situation. And now the 7th house, got to be careful of Neptune retrograde because it tends to want to escape, and it's kind of like in a fantasy world. So relationships might be built on service, but you just have to be careful because it's missing reality. And again, you're still dealing with that internal because you're dealing with Temperance or Sagittarius energy. With the number 17. And let's look at Lilith retrograde is usually very internal, but it could mean past pains and relationships. It could deal with mistrust issues. So you want to avoid escapism. So remember, the 7th house is Libra, ruled by Libra, and it's also Pisces. So you want to avoid escape issues, and you also want to realize that nothing's perfect, because Libra's like that too. So that's the challenges for Libra, because they like to they almost kind of see an ideal world, but the world is not ideal. And it might be good for service because Libras like to serve too, and they care about social issues, but they just don't want to escape. They want to deal with the issues as it is. And also you want to avoid being internal, because nobody can really understand you when you're internal. And like it's human tendencies to, people want what they want and they don't want to be wrong. So even if you told people what the problem was A to B, if they really don't, they just don't want to deal with you. They just, oh, he's crazy, you know, he's crazy, and just start making fun of you and all that, because they just don't want to deal with you. So they have to really make you seem like a weirdo, or this guy, blah blah blah, this and that. And that's why I said, you got to get on with your own life. And that's why, me personally, certain places you just can't go because it'll always be, some silly stuff. And so, me personally, like, what's my obligation as a man? What's my obligation of a human? Stuff like that. I'm more into stuff like that because if you make that mistake, you're gonna bring yourself into idealism, and that's what Neptune is a deceiver, or like this. This is the 12th house. So the 7th house under this new moon is actually the 12th house, and this is all about agreements, meeting with people, service, idealism, because that's what Neptune does, which is really deception. Because the world isn't ideal, the world is real. It's not ideal, it's real. And so you have to be careful of relationship deceptions at this time, because you may meet somebody who's either too good to be true, like I said, are in the fantasy world, idealism. And just give me a moment. Yeah, that's interesting. And it's even more interesting. I don't remember that. So tarot card number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter energy. Uh, energy. And that's what Lilith. And you see it. It's almost like another pyramid. Because that Jupiter energy is taking you right to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So this is the 7th house. And both Pisces and Virgo are about service. So it's implying that if a person is able to connect their relationship up with service, spiritual service, home and family service, then they may get that more of that Jupiter energy. And even Jupiter at 15 degrees is implying, karma or Capricorn or career or the devil card. So if Pisces wants to succeed in the 7th house, it would have to tap into service. And remember, the first house is I am. The 7th house is we are. We are. And then the 8th house, all out aggression with Chiron retrograde. So wherever Aries is in the first house, same thing. It may be Might not be a lot of healing at that time, or it might even be addressing things that haven't healed. But it's definitely going to be aggressive. So that third house, and again, that's ruled by Gemini, so that's going to affect Gemini energy. And that eighth house where Scorpio is. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. See, now I see it again. Because like I said, that's what I saw when I first did the chart. And I couldn't go on. But you just see a lot of aggression. A lot of aggression going towards the third house, which is ruled by Gemini. That could be power struggles, that's aggression, and even it's internal stuff. Because even Lilith retrograde can be internal, but so can Scorpio. Because Scorpio won't necessarily tell you, but like she said, she feels she's being watched or followed or something like that. That could really happen. And you have to be careful. Cause let me just to let you know. Now I'm not saying this is the way it is, but just to let you know, like you said, you felt maybe something following you, but it wasn't him. But you also got to be careful because somebody could get somebody else to follow you, but it is him. I'm not saying that it is, but you always got to be aware of stuff like that. But this is definitely coming out of the third house of Gemini, you know. And then when I did your first house, the first house of the new moon, I said that really is a Gemini house with all that Gemini there, and Virgo rules Gemini and all that other stuff. So the implication is, you know, keep an eye on them. And it's not so far fetched because you're dealing with somebody who's used to an investigation. So I'm not saying that is what it is, but I am saying, you know, be careful. And also, like I said, that's what I keep trying to tell you. You just gotta know what type of people you're dealing with. You know, it's just the way it is. Like I said, if I have neighbors that act like that, and that's what I started saying. Like I was going, you know, with friends like that, you don't need enemies and stuff. So you don't need people like that. And it was ludicrous for these people to think that somehow I just had to do it. But that's how I know, like I said, it really is a devil. It's like, it really is evil energy. Because why would they even think something like that? Which it makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, they're going to drop their stuff all over your property. We're not going to support you. We're not going to help you. And you're just going to pick it up. Like, well, yeah? Really? You really believe that? I'm the kid who, when I went to church, and my church had the sanctuary, then it had a top floor, and usually the kids would sit up there, the balcony. They would sit up in the balcony, like the top floor, and then you had the sanctuary, and then you could also go downstairs and be in the that's where we would eat at and stuff like that. So I went through the whole church, a filled church, three floors of people on a Sunday, and I didn't shake nobody's hand because I wanted to see if I could get away with it. Now, that's the type of mind you're dealing with. First off, I still remember that crap. I'm a grown ass man. But second off, that's the mind you're working on. That I'm like the worst person to say that can't be done. You're not going to do it. That's why I used to love Lieutenant Columbo, because sometimes he would be on a case, and the murderer would be so smart that he would get Columbo kicked off the case. He said, look, there's no proof, and this man's been harassing me. You have no proof, and blah, blah, blah. If he comes around here again, I'm going to sue. So Columbo will be told by his commanding officer, his commander, don't go over there, don't come back around, or whatever. So Columbo will fall back a little bit and try to find a way back in. He would try to find something that would give him a legal right to go back in. And the moment he found anything that would give him a legal right to go back in, here you had Lieutenant Columbo with his weird looking self, the wrinkled up trench coat, and all the rushing back in, even though he was specifically told you better not come back. But he knew he had to go back, but he better go back with some real facts, because he had to get this guy before the guy got away. So yeah, there's a lot of aggressive energy with Aries, Scorpio, Gemini, and Virgo, and Mercury. So be very careful. And you got to remember when we first started doing this with the Gemini, and you used to ask me questions like that. You would say, "Does the Gemini know this?" and "What is the Gemini?" So it's not so far fetched. And like deep inside, you probably already know. Plus, we're gonna do your question. Don't worry, we're gonna do your 15 questions too. Because deep inside, you already know, is he the type that, like anybody that's an investigator, that's kind of like in their thing. Like I had to learn with me, because I'm just a different type of person. So when I see relationships, I mean, not so much now. I grew up, but like back then, I used to believe stuff like that. Like we're in a relationship and shouldn't be any dishonesty and blah blah blah. But the real world, there probably will be some dishonesty, and I really believed that back then. That I should know this or I should know that. But now you kind of like, that's why people just say trust. You got to trust me enough, to just let it go. You can't sit there worrying about what I did or where I went and all that, or looking at the odometer, or if I told you something. I'm talking about the female. The female might say, if I told you something, uh, the day something strange happened, you'll wonder what happened, and then you check the odometer, and I set it back to 0, so you wouldn't know how many miles or where I went. You know, I still don't want you to question me. You're gonna have to learn how to trust me. So somebody might say, "Oh no, listen. First off, this stuff ain't adding up. Your stories sound crazy, and you never changed the odometer before. So how do I know you're telling me the truth?" So you could really get into it with somebody over stuff like that. But unfortunately, nowadays, you know, some things you, some things is just better to just leave alone. Just hope for the best. Hope for the best. That's how you know I'm getting old. Because a younger me would have jumped on somebody's ass like, "What? Hey, what's up with this odometer? What's going on?" All right. So now we're back in the ninth house. And again, this is higher courts, higher self, class, higher education. This is still publishing. This could be a teacher. This is in-laws, travel. And it could be finances like foreign and stuff like that. And it is legal though. The interesting thing about it is legal because there's that 25 again. And remember, Uranus is the lover card, a lover card, but it could be about doubt. And then that's 69. And now it's not 29. Now it's not 29 degrees, which would make it karmic or anaretic degree, but it's not a degree. It's a minute. But the implication is still there. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, Taurus. Something's going to shake. Something's going to shake up. Now, I just need everybody to understand with astrology. I try to go 7 days before, 7 days after, and sometimes it's longer than that. But if it says it's implying some type of shakeup, and see that 25 degrees also means legal, you know. And then you got Uranus and coming out of nowhere, and we already saw doubt. See what I'm saying? Because we dealt with doubt over here with the sun and the moon, and doubt would lead somebody to have you followed, and Scorpio too, because Scorpio is very suspicious. And remember, Scorpio is usually directly opposite Taurus, which it is. And the third house where Scorpio is the immature house. That's all about gossip and suspicion. And that type of person would definitely follow somebody. And the ninth house is supposed to be about a little bit more maturity. But it could also mean like they're using higher technology, however that's done. Because the ninth house is all about more mature publishing. And the ninth house could also be like a second marriage, or you broke up with somebody from the third house, but now you got back together with them. So the ninth house is a little bit more maturity. You might not break up as quick as before, but whatever it is, it's still giving that implication that it's more solidified. And that could go. That could come across so many different ways. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Not saying this is the way, but it could be some type of high tech listening equipment. But even if it's not that, if it's not high tech listening equipment, it could be knowing somebody who knows you, and he's going to that person trying to gather information. Because remember, 6 degrees is doubt, but it's doubt in love. That's what the Lover's card really is. The Lover's card is really about doubt. It's not about love. It's only about love depending on the spread. But the Lover's card is really about doubt. And sometimes it's just self-doubt or doubt in your relationship. And with that 29, it's definitely like, it's not anoretic. It's not, well, it might be karmic, but it's not anoretic. It's not an anoretic degree, but the implication is still there because it's 29. So this is the stuff that comes out of nowhere. And then you got the 25 degrees, which is law, or if it could be law or someone who represents the law. And remember, the 9th house is about law, like higher law. That's why I said the 3rd house would just be like an officer. The 9th house would be an investigator, like a higher law. Just like when you say you got detectives, like you got regular cops that be at a scene of a crime, and then you got detectives that walk in. And a detective can usually walk up to a cop and say, "Hey, go do this." And let's just say the cop don't want to listen to him. Like the cop's like, "Man, I don't respect you. I don't like you. I ain't doing nothing." But then the detective probably could, get him in trouble. Because I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Like whenever you see it on TV, that's how it is. You got the cops that are there, the officers, and then you got a detective to walk in. And when the detective walks in, he starts giving orders. Okay, block this off over here. Make sure nobody touches this over here. And blah, blah, blah. Get this over here. Get this down to the lab. And the cop just go, okay. Because he can't talk back. Because that's like he's hired and he's higher ranking. So that's what you're looking at on your chart there as well. So that's why I try to tell you, because like even here locally, a guy just got fired in my township because he was using the this is what he did. It was some female, I think he stopped her. And I guess he was interested in her. A traffic stop. So then he used the equipment, the police equipment, to contact her. And then he contacted her on Facebook or something like that. So he got busted. And especially right now, like I said, they're very hard on the officers right now because, like I said, we had a police officer that murdered his wife in broad daylight, surrounded by police. So they're very hard on anything that looks weird like that or anything that looks stalky like that. They're gonna either discipline the guy really bad or they're gonna get rid of him. And they told him he could still be a police officer, but not in this township. And I think they said not in this state either. Not in this township, not in this state. So you have to go somewhere else. And like I said, Uranus retrograde is just things coming out of nowhere. And let's look at that. Let's look at the Uranus retrograde. Now, so like I said, I will be coming back with the other ones. Like I said, the other natal charts, the other charts. But this is just to let you know what's going on, so you have an idea. That's why I'm making sure I'm saying the signs, the planets, and the signs. And like I said, like Uranus rules Aquarius. Now, just give me a second. I don't know. Alright, so we're doing Uranus retrograde. Expect the unexpected. Surprises come out of nowhere. They could be wonderful, depending on the situation. Or they could be undesirable. So Uranus is the eyeball of the solar system. It can amaze and amuse you, but it can also come with chaos. And that's why I said that illustration I gave you about all she wanted to do was kiss him goodnight, but some lipstick got on his collar and she saw a different side of him. That's like a Uranus retrograde. It comes out of nowhere, unexpected. So they say with a Uranus retrograde, sometimes if a person is normally quiet, all of a sudden now they're wild, they want to talk. And sometimes if they're wild and like to talk or whatever, now they get very quiet with a Uranus retrograde. So a person with Uranus retrograde is a person who is not hot or cold. They're very extreme, and they have no balance or limitation. They have no middle ground. They're very extreme. It's either black or white, no gray areas, no compromise. So that going on, that's almost like jealousy. So Uranus retrograde, if this was a natal chart, the person probably was a rebel or revolutionary in a previous life. They're usually fighting the establishment, or they're looking for battles that challenge fairness. But it's just that it's extreme. So this person needs to learn how to give and take, live and let live, finding a middle ground, learning compassion. They have to learn how to just appreciate life. And they got to learn how to choose their battles wisely so that they're not always caught up in some fight some type of way, or some fight for what they think is right, or they're always got some type of cause that they're fighting. Like I said, 20 and 25 degrees is law. What I want to do, I just want to look at that 629 as a number, but I don't know if it's really going to tell us anything, but let's see what it says. Just give me a moment to get there. Angel number 629 is a message from your angels to put faith and trust in them. So trust in your angels as they are sending you guidance through your intuition, just like I told you, visions and thoughts. Trust and believe the messages you receive and act accordingly by taking appropriate steps and actions. So that's deep. Your angels and spirit guides know your life mission, and their guidance and direction come from a place of love, light, and wisdom. Live your light working mission with faith, confidence, trust, and wisdom by living your life as a positive example to others. Know that you are well blessed. So, angel number 629 is telling you that your faith in the angelic and spiritual realms has opened doors of opportunity that will assist you along your spiritual path. These opportunities have appeared in your life for a reason. Or reasons, singular or plural. And your angels encourage you to listen to your intuition and continue on your path with enthusiasm and passion. Now, there's a reason why this is going on. Look what they're telling you, though, right? At this Uranus. And Uranus could be somebody crazy in your life. And you may not know it. But like I said, that's why I like it when I was reading that, I really was feeling bad. I kept going, she's going to hate me. Especially because I was minding my own business. And then when that email came, and it was, and almost every news story on the email had something to do with, you know, that the guy that's in the position, the profession that the guy you're with is in. And I was like, man, she's gonna hate me. And that's when I sent it, and like I said, I couldn't even continue. And that's when I was like, do you really? I was like, do you really want this reading? Because I didn't know how it was gonna go, but I was burnt out. I was like unbelievably burnt out. And I said, I got to talk to you. So that's why I wanted to solely do this reading this way. I didn't want to rely on any experts, and then I want to go old school. So they're telling you, you know, if something's gonna pop off, to trust in them. And sometimes what you remember, this could be new stuff, or something's got to end, so something that can begin, or whatever, or just new stuff coming out. But I had a friend of mine. She used to get a lot of readings from me, and she had tried to pass the bar, I think 2 times before, or something like that. So on the 3rd time, I was helping her, and then she passed that time. So then I wasn't hearing from her no more, because now she was going to, you know, be a lawyer. She's going to be a lawyer and everything like that. And I still didn't hear from her. But then I know she has family. She's from the Caribbean. And then I heard Paul Stanley say a lot of, you know, bad weather and stuff in the Caribbean. So I sent her a quick email. And then that's when she responded. And she said, I'm in the Caribbean right now, and this is going on, and this is going on. And she was telling me all the bad weather that's going on right now. And then she said she got fired from that job, and she said that she has a tarot cards with her, because I know she wants to be a tarot card reader, and she was saying a lot of people are waking up now, like in the Caribbean and throughout the planet. So what happens is you'll get a, you know, Uranus retrograde or something that's something that comes out of nowhere, but it comes out of nowhere for a reason. Because like I said, it's human nature to want to be with somebody and stuff like that. But sometimes we have to also pursue more spiritual and stuff like that. Even me, a lot of stuff I would have done, or the type of people I would have pursued for a relationship years ago, I wouldn't pursue that now. It would be something different. Because I'm more, you know, just this. You know, what I do now, that's basically what I do. So I'm more like homebound now. Now before I wasn't. I was more outgoing. But I'm more homebound now, and just more into stuff like this. So I don't need to be at every sporting event. I don't need to be out all the time and stuff like that. I already did a lot of that. So things change. So with your Uranus retrograde, they're telling you, just listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. You know, your angels are telling you. Plus, our job is to get you to be more spiritual, more spiritual. So listen to your intuition. Listen to your angels. So it says, let go of attachments to painful old memories, hurt, and jealousies, anger. And again, they don't have to necessarily be old attachments. They could be going on right now. And any number of negative beliefs and feelings that tie up your dependence. So whenever you see Jupiter and Sagittarius, or the 9th house, where this is in the 9th house, it is about your belief system. And remember, like I said, this is higher law as well. Like even among police, there's different levels of rank. Like a sheriff will be way higher than just a regular street officer, you know. Up in the dependent. Okay, so it says let go of attachments to painful old memories, hurts, jealousies, anger, and any number of negative beliefs and feelings that tie you up in dependence, unhappiness, and ill health. And believe me, I'm not saying he is, but if somebody was following you, or had somebody following you, or whatever, that's, you know, that's already that's that codependency, that's that Scorpio stalking, all kind of crazy stuff. You know, because that's just that. Like I said, I've learned a long time ago, you can't stop a woman from doing what she wants to do. Now, bottom line is, you know, you could learn, if you have patience, you can learn how to try to talk through stuff. Let a person know, I'm willing to work this out with you, but we got to get past this, because I need to know I can trust you. You got to really go through stuff like that. But if she still doesn't want to do it, you can't make her. And that's why I see a lot of men do that. Like they're with a woman, and maybe the woman hurts them, but then like I'm gonna expose her, I'm gonna destroy her, and I'm like, yo, man, just let her go. You know, if she don't want to be there, just let her go. Why would you? You know, that's just stupid. Especially if you got kids. You know, for the kids, just leave her alone. Like let her go her own way. Maybe at some point in life she'll realize she effed up. But if you start hurting her and attacking her, then you're showing her that you're a psychopath. You have no self control, and like you're just nutty. Like you know, I know how it can be when you really somebody hurts you, but I guess I got used to it. Like it wouldn't. I would just be you want to go because that's what happened to me. Like in like late 1990s, somebody I was with for like 8 years, she was like I want to go, and like I double check with her, and then that's what you want to do, go. I don't want somebody with me that doesn't want to be with me. That's just like go. So they say if you get if you're dealing with somebody that's on codependency or unhappiness and ill health, she said engage in work that impacts the world in a positive way. And that's what the ninth house is about. Because the ninth house is like a master teacher. Or the ninth house could be somebody that's like using YouTube or something to talk to the world wide web. Now we want to do Vesta and Taurus. Now, really, Vesta and Taurus can be somebody that's very sexual, but in a spiritual way. Because the ninth house can be very spiritual. It's run by Sagittarius. But Vesta and Taurus can also be somebody who's repressed. Because sometimes Vesta can deal with repression. And also Vesta, because that is the higher law. The ninth house is the higher law house. And Vesta can mean like incarceration by higher law or something like that. And again, you have to understand, let's just say you are dating a high ranking whatever. That would kind of, if he is kind of stalking you, that is a form of Vesta because he is trying to box you. He's trying to box you in. He's trying to box you in. He's trying to know where you are and all that. So it's trying to box you. And if a person really did that, then they would try to box you in real life at some point. Okay, now Gemini in the 10th house. Now this could be some form of publishing. This could be some form of education for younger people, like even a Sunday school teacher. But in any type of very young people education, this could be some type of short travel employment, like a taxi cab driver or Uber driver. Some form of publishing, some form of communications. But again, it's all short distance. Short distance. Could be some type of creative writing, occupation, because this is the 10th house with medium quality. And medium quality also connects to wherever the true north node is. I would say the true north node is in Cancer. So that's gonna work with Cancer as well. So now we'll look at number 553. And again, I'm not saying this is the case, but if it was, so if somebody was stalking you and it was like a current boyfriend or something like that, for me, I would. That's kind of creepy, you know, because you gotta remember your readings, and your reading has had that for a while, that warning. So you just gotta always be aware of that. So number 553 means important life changes. And isn't that amazing? Important life changes, 553 with the Gemini. That's crazy. But that's why I love what I do. And I'm glad because, like, you know, she's backed me up. Well, both of these people that I'm doing this reading for, they have really supported me as far as backing me up for so long. Definitely appreciate it. Okay, so 553 is a powerful sign of important life changes. And remember, this person doesn't know that 553 is in Gemini. Because remember, 3 is Gemini, the 3rd house, and 5 is Leo. They're both the most creative houses on the chart, on the 12 house chart. So they say these changes have come about because you've had a positive attitude and your intentions to better your life. Your prayers and your positive affirmations have manifested in your desired changes, and better is now on the way. Now that could mean better with the Gemini, or it might mean better without the Gemini. Again, only she wouldn't really know that. Angel number 553 is a message that, and we will do the 15 questions as well, so we'll get even more insight. Angel number 553 is a message, or I think it was 12 questions, but whatever. Angel number 553 is a message that major changes are around you and you may be feeling apprehensive. Now, what I get from that, if you gave me 5 questions and they're going 553, that would be 13. So after I do your reading, if I feel the need to answer the 13th question, I will, or however that works out. Angel number 553 is a message that your major life changes are around you, and you may be feeling apprehensive or anxious about what lies ahead of you. Although it may not seem like it right now, trust that all is going to divine plan and all will fall into place in divine right time. There may be some additional information to be revealed, and that's what we're going to find out when we ask those questions, and our work to be done. But ultimately, all is going as it should at this time. Know that these changes are happening to advance you along your life path and help you fulfill your soul mission. You are encouraged to take full advantage of the changes and the new opportunities that will present in your life. So they want you to know that higher angels and angels are overseeing the life changes you are currently experiencing and are ensuring that all goes to divine plan. If feeling any fears, doubts, or anxieties about these life changes, call upon the angels for help. So you could always call the angels for help, or you could pray, and they could give you help, healing, guidance, and support. So they're definitely letting you know something's up with that Gemini energy. All right. Now we go to the 11th house, which again is family, but this is going to be family, friends, associations. Family, friend groups, associations, the community. And when you're dealing with family, going back to the 4th house, teenage to adult education, land, property, real estate, the heart, family, ancestors, the mother who's in your subconscious mind, Imun, Kweli, property and real estate, vehicle, and travel. So all that's going to be going on in your 11th house of friends, association, and groups. And here it is at 16 degrees, which is the Tower card, meaning something coming down. And let's go to B Diddy or Biddy Tarot. Excuse me, just had to move around. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, or awakening. So that's what the Tower card means. Sudden change. And remember what we just said. We told you that the 10th house, medium Coeli, works along with your true north node. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, awakening. Now I have to say this. Now I'm not saying this is the case. But again, sudden change, you find something out. Upheaval, something hits. Chaos, which again is like, worst thing anybody wants to know if they're with somebody. Revelation, so this is revelation, chaos, and awakening. Because now you know, this is not somebody I could be with. That's just one interpretation. But it's definitely upheaval, chaos, sudden change. And they keep saying that. And that's a true north node and 16. And for some reason they are For some reason, they are associating your mother with it. They're associating somebody's mother with it. Let me prove it to you. Go back to where Mars is. See that 7 degrees? That's the Chariot card. That means something's coming with the Mars energy. And the Chariot card is Cancer, which could be the mother. And then your true north node is 16 degrees, which is the Tower card, which is Mars energy. And once again, it's there with the mother, or the family, or the mother. So that all depends on how a person talks to their mother. Do they have these type of conversations with their mother? Or she may be a mother herself and may be talking directly about her. But either way, this is going on at that time. So now, having done the 12 houses and going over everything, it depending on what signs are connected to your chart, but definitely for this person, this Taurus, it's definitely going to be changes and certain things coming out. Now, what happens? Now, what happens is this. Like, let's say nothing. She doesn't find anything out in, say, 7 to 14 days or whatever case might be. She just found something out now. And plus, she's been doing her own with other psychics and even her intuition. So she did find it out now. But that doesn't mean it may happen in the never. It may have happened by now, or it hasn't happened in the next 14 days. But it's definitely coming. But it's just to be on your toes, aware, and because if somebody was following you, you gotta find out, well, who would be following me and why. And it just seems like it's that guy. Might be for the Gemini, might be. Just seems that way. And that's why I wanted to do it this way. I didn't want to necessarily rely on anybody else. I wanted to go back old school, look the numbers up, see what's going on, and But I think you could see it. It's definitely something investigating, like somebody. When I say investigating, somebody kind of following you or looking around at you, kind of like investigative going on. All right. So again, for anybody else, like I said, you heard the signs. You heard me say all the signs. You heard me say the planets, so that you have a good idea too. And as I cannot be working on it, it's just that we have a person returning home tomorrow. So I don't know how much I'll be able to do tomorrow. And then when that person comes home, we got it. Like I said, the hot water heater failed, and we've had it replaced now. But to get all that done, it messed the floor up. So we got people coming to kind of try to clean the floor and stuff like that. So that's what's going on. So I think that will end this particular video. Now, but before we do, like I said, there is possibility of love, but it does seem like it's coming with a lot of intensity, as far as even just a lot of intensity. Could even be confrontational as well. So that's it for now.